Welcome back to Stasis, where we now have to get rid of that damn robot. The sink. There's just water coming from it. Do I have something to wash? The bandages? Ah, okay. He is not coming around the corner. Okay. Spilled water. Everywhere is spilled water. Okay. Ah. Okay. Let's see. And now. And we killed it. Whew. Deactivated sentry robot. The sentry robot sits motionless as a wisp of smoke twirls from the burning CPU.
Easy does it. God, I just hate it. Got it.
We got something. And it is... what? Twisted metal. Okay. Then we have whatever this is. We have... there was an elevator platform. Okay. The elevator was constructed low. It splashed quickly into the thick darkness below. The shapeless maw of the unlit void. There's another power pad, an airlock, another sink. A built-in cleaning drone in that. Okay, and there's an airlock up here. There's also the mutagen laboratory. Platform? That does look like a terminal, not a platform. Oh, we can go up here. Okay. So I assume we can't go through here. Nope. Okay.
Warning. The oxygen atmosphere generating system is no longer functioning. Product failure is imminent.
Go to mutagen. Okay. Machinery, PDA, another PDA, readout screens. Data about subjects. Eviscerated corpses, splayed open human body, conjoined mass, pulsating mass of flesh and bone, recent blood discharge, conjoined twin hybrids. It doesn't seem that the brain is up to the task of coordinating movement between the two bodies. A computer terminal, another power cell, overgrown hybrid. Human skeletons, liquid nitrogen canister.
How can we allow this?
This is the purpose of Groomlake. It's not on Earth. I can't see it, so they don't care.
But if they knew?
So what?
Okay. Scanning machinery. Oh, so these are like MRTs? Or CTs? Never get the difference between the two, right? There, we have to look, so... there's so much mess on the screen always, so you don't really know. Human host. Ugh, it's a human host to this. Where they might hide an item that we need. Okay, terminal. Human hybrid reject 811. A highly unusual form of rejection, such as has not been observed before manifested in this hybrid. It is entirely possible that the mutagenic compounds used to synthesize the hybrid DNA was faulty in this particular instance. Usually with any rejection there's a sign of initial bonding, and then a breakdown, but in this case there was absolutely no bonding attempted whatsoever. Given the thoroughness with which we create the DNA, I suspect that the centrifuge machine for this particular batch was faulty. Repair and maintenance check of the machine is ordered immediately. Recommendation: destroy what remains, but also destroy the fetus. Subject died during birth. It can only be surmised that the death was due to a failing in the host, as all reports and tests leading up to the birth showed no signs of fetal defect. Upon further investigation of the woman's medical history, it was noted that she experienced complications when giving birth to a child previously. This host would not have been used had this been highlighted. In light of her medical history, I now assume this was the cause of fatal distress and death of the subject. Host is being kept alive and has undergone one transfusion. Revoke host's life support order and dispose of body with hybrid reject C. During the autopsy of Hybrid 604, there were signs of renal failure. It appears the kidneys were unable to process the amino acids required for the breakdown of nutrients. The damage to the liver, stomach and intestines show the same degenerative patterns. It is possible that the reports of the mother giving birth 3 months prior was an error. Further reports regarding the failure of mutagenic compounds will be finalized later. Okay. Those were the terminus. There's another terminal here.
If they were more open, this wouldn't happen.
Open to who? The people? Governments?
Other corporations.
What cost?
A bit of our humanity, I suppose.
Dr. Clifford Beckman. They'd never made it to 60. Ha! 85, you fuckers. Old and still cooking with gas. 3 bastard kids and I outlived them all. Okay, so I was young when I had them. Those girls never even knew I was the father, of course. I had to switch the DNA samples so they didn't know the little shits were mine. I'm too old now for all that, but you never completely lose your eye for ladies. I heard about stories like this where there are places where you can get semen to fertilize, not fertilize yourself, that's the wrong word, to impregnate yourself. But there were doctors who were having like 100 children by changing out the stuff for their own semen every time. I might have false teeth, Dr. Mellon, but I'm no moron. For the good of humanity, I'm a sociopath and alleged a rapist of women, but your little speech to the crew was less sincere than anything I could say with a straight face. At least you know how to turn a blind eye whenever I have to get rid of troublesome subjects, right, Mellon? The new gas for the chambers is working splendidly, an approved kill rate of 60% on the old formula. I watch these poor fuckers writhe and die. We have a viewing window now, just so we can make sure it's done. If I were a Morriman, I'd call it perverse. It's lucky for Project Seed that I couldn't give a shit. I thrive when I don't have to answer to everyone with a conscience. I hope he died. I hope he died violently. This will not do, not at all. I need more subject. The rejection ratio of the DNA splicing is stratospheric, so not only do I need more bodies, but I need better ones. They bring me imports and strays, but the best results are achieved with crew members. One cannot prey too often on those, of course, no matter the need. My chosen ones were always those who wouldn't be missed. The furnaces are inadequate for my disposal requirements. I'm told they are so hot that they could destroy dark matter. They seem slow to respond when burning flesh though, and the smell is hardly pleasant either. It reminds me of that injured dog that I found as a little boy growing up in Missouri. It looked at me with a pleading look, the kind a sick patient gives a doctor they trust absolutely. Naturally I stomped on the mongrel's head. It was a mercy. There are too many in society who have a similarly damaged disposition. It's a kindness to snuff out their worthless lives. I must get more pathway. That little prick DeSantis is usually more than forthcoming with its ingredients, but he says his own suppliers are having problems. I know you, DeSantis. I know you're not a real doctor. I know the kind. I have 5 PhDs and I can tell what men have been hired for their instincts rather than their knowledge. Meanwhile, the cutting and splicing continues. Oh, and Charlotte, we all know about your little experiment, you stupid bitch. First she kills her partner by accidentally exposing him to a lethal virus, and then she goes gaga for him. That's the sort of beautiful incompetence that slays me. I spent years perfecting the art of the kill, making a murder appear to be a mishap, and she went and did it all completely by accident. What a perfect nonsense. I had the subject down today and used my surgical hammer to cave in his windpipe. Then I gouged at his eyes and tried to rip his jaw from its socket. My goodness, what an outburst. I'm becoming careless. I need more pathway. Dr. Mellon is starting to worry that my tendencies cannot be controlled. He need not worry, I'm still focused on seed. Seed is still just that, a seed. But this chrysalis will soon break open and blossom. The successfully bred Homo novi wait in their containment cells while their unsuccessful brethren reduced to a viral mulch that's already breached the containment seals of the ship grow. Its genetic makeup might be little more than trash, but it is astoundingly tenacious. I have to respect that which kills with such efficiency. I woke up in the emergency room today. Somebody found me on the stairs. I can't remember much. What I do know is that both my fucking legs are up in casts. I better get comfortable because Dr. Graham says I'll be here for at least a month. We die as the Novi cut us down, but I'm not ready to be replaced by a new species. So that is what's going on here. Their failures hunt us all. I'm not ready to be replaced by a new species. Our creations are impressive, but I don't share Mellon's fanaticism for what is happening here. I must try to make sure one of the lifeboats is available for me. A shame there was not another for that delectable young thing. What was her name? Callister? I would have killed to have her around when this ship was going to hell. She's dead, however. How unfortunate. I may be old. Oh, he is the first one we saw that survived till the other year. I may be old, but I'll tear anyone who tries to stop me from leaving a part at the limbs. I have survived police investigation, court cases, vengeful spouses, and idealistic lap hands. I'll gut any shitbag trying to prevent my escape, and that includes you, man, and I will jab out your eyeballs and eat them before I submit to you. I hope this is him, because he deserves that. Nobody deserves that. Maybe he does. Dr. Marvin. Man, that bitch from shipping won't get off my back. You fucking a girl real good? You fuck a girl real good and she comes crawling back. If she doesn't get out of my hair, I'll have her moved off ship. Dr. Mellon is a prick, but he looks after me like that. I gotta say, being on Project Seed is awesome, ma'am. Okay, so we gotta do some pretty obnoxious shit, but in exchange I get a lot of protection and an honorary title, Dr. DeSantis. I like it. Dr. Mellon knows about my contacts and private cargo that arrives on board, and I know he hates it, but there ain't nobody as prepared to work under Dr. Bagman. That guy is one twisted fuck and also one of my best customers. I get imports, sure, but my own private lab is what manufactures Bagman's pathway shit. Funny, I never realized how dependent these smart asses of science are on drugs. Personally, never touched this stuff. You gotta have your wits about you, man, especially around here. Wow, Dr. Williams, Charlotte. I never would have figured that uptight woman was a slut, but holy hell, she just gave me the ride of my fucking life. Who'd have thought it? Slinky lays under that lab coat of hers, and for a woman in her mid-40s, a body that makes you want to get on your knees and howl at the moon. Against the table, pressed up against the viewport window, on top underneath, like a frigging rattlesnake. Of course she's Looney Tunes. Perhaps she thinks I'm her dead husband or something. Like I care, as long as she keeps coming to me to fulfill her needs. Crazy but smart, she has no idea how much I know about her little project. I saw the details. People think I'm a smack-talking smartass, but I've been training on the Groomlake since I was 16. I studied chemistry and genetics, aced all of it too. She thinks I'm too stupid to understand. Thinking I could have got myself in too deep here. The drug thing was fine, but this whole industrial espionage thing is kind of freaky. I don't think Dr. Mellon knows. I know Lincoln watches me with an eagle eye, but he can't know for sure. If he did, he'd eject my ass from the ship with the rest of the failed hybrids. But goddamn, the money is good. I earned my year's salary by sending some info to Black Star Industries. My contact gave me more money than I could conceive for leaking one report. 1. I met the guy while I was on leave. He was a smug dickhead who somehow knew what I did and then he flashed the cash. I've got no loyalties to the company and know how Dr. Mellon treats loyal staff. This guy can turn on a dime when it suits him. I've heard of weird shit going on down in the decks below, and Seed has me feeling it will soon be time to get the hell out of Dodge pronto. 1 or 2 more reports might just give me what I need. Nobody cares about my little acts of espionage, but who would care? The ship's falling apart. Some of those fucked up things that Beckman and Mellon made are on the prowl. I stashed away my cash as soon as I heard things were going wrong, but money ain't gonna make a spit's worth of difference if we all get killed. Mellon's taking all this way too calmly. Actually, I'd say he's enjoying all this. He came into the lab in the morning, he still makes us all report to the lab, and was grinning the whole damn time, his eyes all red like he was coming down from a high. That guy does not need drugs for a high, his general fucked upness is what he rides. And here was me thinking Beckman was the crazy one. It's just us. Oh god, not even Beckman's around now. Charlotte was dragged away to the labs a few days ago, we'll see it off from the other decks. I reckon it's only a matter of time before Mellon decides to do something about me too. I've been living on this ship for years, I know about hidden passages that even Mellon doesn't know about. I get over to the communications array and let off a signal. Hopefully they'll get at us before Dr. Mellon finds out. He survived till February. Interesting. So what do we have in our inventory? Twisted metal. And a slug gun. I don't think I can use anything there. I assume we have to go up now, as I didn't see... There's nothing, nowhere there. There's nowhere right. What do we do? What are we powering here? Weird. No idea what we're powering here. You can use liquid nitrogen canisters as a bomb. I know that because I work in a... I've been, during my university time, I've been in a few labs, and these are always tied shut to the wall with thick steel chains. So if they get a leak, they don't destroy the whole building. So maybe we can make that blow up with hitting the thing.
I can try to make it fit, but it may break.
Or heating it? Yes. Okay. Okay, that's something else than what I thought before. Okay, that's not a glue gun, that's a slug gun. Okay, we can go to this place now, which I don't know where it leads, and the thing disappeared. We can now go. Okay. Okay. Strap down hybrids. Withered hybrids, tiny hybrids. And machinery. Emaciated, starving organism. Bone mating glue. I take that. Tube of quick drying bone adhesive. Healthy organism. Seems healthy, though judging by the fury in its eyes is far from pleased. Conjoined hybrid fused at the spine. They all live. A terminal and PDA. And another. He had turned from the operating label only to crawl around in aimless peregrination. No doubt delirious. Peregrination. No idea what that is. There's also a room to the lower left here. PDA. Lots of reading today. Charlotte. Oh, Francis, I still lie awake at night thinking of you. You haunt my dreams, my nightmares, and my fantasies. We found love, dear, even when we worked in Kane's Sydney lab, creating viral strains that can turn a human inside out. We laughed and made love. Ours was a match made in heaven. We worked on only the most exciting viruses and pathogens. Our work together was a Mozart requiem, a piece of perfection. My work now is a pale imitation of what it was once. Oh, Francis. How long ago was it now? It must be 10 years, but it feels like only yesterday. You were too sick to transfer to the Groomlake when I did. You died just as I took up my post. But don't fret, my angel. I've begun concocting a way of bringing you back to life. I always called you my little Frankenstein, do you remember? Frankenstein is the doctor that revives the monster, not the monster. Treading the boundary between life and death was always your ultimate goal. Wow. They are loud again. Well now, with Project Seed entering its second phase, my plans can finally be put into practice. My laboratories are off limits between 2 and 4 AM, so that's when I work. Naturally, I prepare all of the calculations and machine settings in my quarters. I kept the subject under a false name in one of the pods. So far, not even Dr. Mellon knows what I'm doing. Each major laboratory operation I perform takes no more than an hour, and I always erase the machine records at the end of each one. I'm using your DNA, my darling. With the enhanced regenerative abilities of the genetic material you've already synthesized for Seed, you will be reborn. But you will be impervious to physical degeneration, immune to sickness and pain. I'll have done what you would have wanted and made you perfect. And when you step healthy, unblemished and reconstituted from your glass room, you'll never leave me again. Things have felt strange lately. My work continues, but I swear, dear darling Francis, I can feel you watching me. I'm trying to work longer hours to complete the new and reborn you. But it's not easy. Marvin has already had a look at some of my work, I'm sure, as if he'd have any concept of what I'm trying to achieve anyway. He does. I still wonder, my darling, why you cursed me as you died. You know it was an accident, I know you remember that. It wasn't murder. I've never committed a murder, not even when I tested the pathogen on those troublesome neighbors. It was an experiment. How were we to know that they were choked to death on their own innards? Because you said it in the first log. I suppose death was a possibility, but that's science. I fear your continued life. I'm afraid Mellon knows. Who else knows? No, I fear for your continued life, not I fear your continued life. Have they contaminated you? I will run exotests to make sure your code is not flawed or altered in any way. I'm anxious. I've started scratching my arms badly. At this rate, I may end up looking like that leprous toad Bagman. Oh, my dearest Francis, I've failed you. Mellon knows. He confronted me about it directly. He wants me to make you just like them. I cannot have you scrawling on all fours like some dog in the street. The very idea offends me. I will protect you with my life. You will be reborn. I swear this on my life. And we got a terminal. Lana. Subject host Tara McCormick. Rambunctious subject appears to have inherited her mother's powerful physical build and latent aggression. Lana has the makings of an excellent alpha female candidate. Move Lana to a group cell as isolation appears to promote her irritability. Daryl. Willow Brody. Quiet but intelligent, attempted to pick the lock on her cell yesterday but failed to escape. Excellent puzzle solving skills and why not especially aggressive, has a strong build, a thinker clearly. Frederick, host Mary Maxwell. Shows little of his mother's solid frame, but is a superb hunter, stalks and learns techniques by observing the others. Appears to be developing a strong tactical mind. And nay. Alan Maracheck is the host. One to watch. Cunning, extraordinarily fast and dangerous, appears to prefer isolation as attempted pairings result in fatalities. Takes an alpha role easily, dominates the other novae. perfect candidate for Lana's mate. So my wife got used for this project and birthed Nay, who is the alpha of the enemy. And there's an alpha female candidate she will be paired with. Wow. Go down here. I think it's loading a cutscene. Or generally loading. Okay. Assume that we'll have a talk soon. Okay, that's Francis. Let's see, there's a mainframe computer and storage drives and coolant pipes. More coolant pipes. More terminals. There's a glass wall. The observation wall is stained top to bottom with an unpleasant array of sticky dried substance. So the glass wall I think we'll have to get rid of. And we can go down the stairway. There's a PDA, life support machinery.
Don't go any further. I'm warning you now.
How could you do this?
I do with my children as I see fit.
It's barbaric.
Spare me the pity of the righteous. Your daughter owes her life to me.
What do you know about Rebecca?
ARG was good on this ship, Mr. Maracheck. Cancer, HIV, Ebola. I eliminated them all. Her life is mine to do with as I choose. Oh yes, I know about everything, Johnny boy. I know about your daughter and all about your wife. You are accountable.
Jan hit signal, John. You need to hurry. We're close.
Wow. So he has cured this AIG that I suppose my daughter has. By what I've learned so far, there's just a strapped on creature which I can do anything about. Okay. Only PDAs. Nothing else here to take? Good, PDA. That's Melon's PDA. I'll come to that in a moment. At Lincoln's PDA. So I'm reading Lincoln's PDA now, and I'm starting the next episode with Melon's PDA. I've been reassigned to investigate the disappearance and murder of 2 scientists in the employ of Dr. Mellon. A strange matter, to be sure. I've been observing the movements of some of these eggheads, and I can't say I'm too impressed. Doesn't anybody around here record their comings or goings, or make any notes? There's no traditional organization in this department whatsoever. Project Seed answers to nobody, this I know, but I thought these scientific types always make notes. Not that I care about admin, but I very much care about finding out who is selling weapons-grade secrets. Industry secrets are a matter of life and death, especially death in this case. My investigations will be thorough and no stone will be left unturned. The staff here are strange, and in fact, I'd say lots of them are even crazy, but I couldn't care less about that. I just want names and answers. I got this job because I get things done, not because of my warm and caring personality. At the moment, people are taking umbrage to my investigation, but security is a constant and essential part of shipboard life, especially when we are talking about industrial espionage. I'm not sure where the 2 missing scientists are, but it seems based on the modified records I've found that they were killed and ejected into space. Any other man would assume that these 2 were criminals, but I don't buy that. As far as suspects go, I rule out Charlotte Williams and Marvin DeSantos. It was Marvin. Charlotte because... no, it was... It was Marvin who sold it, yeah. I've wrote her Charlotte Williams and Marvin DeSantis shouted because she doesn't know where she is half of the time, and DeSantis because she's just smirking shit for brains. I'm confident that he's involved in drug dealing. I will give him this. He's cautious and acts like he's a real ladies' man. But I know the truth. I have seen him rejected repeatedly at the bar. Since July, I've had to operate under the pretense that I'm an assistant. It's lucky that in my career I had some emergency room experience. The only other person who knows about my true purpose here is Dr. Mellon. He's been encouraging. He constantly supplies me with information that I require for my investigation, and at times it's a little over-helpful. Still, he seems honest enough. For the record, I'm well aware of the kind of man Dr. Mellon is. I've seen his experiments with my own eyes. I've seen what happens when the bodies are disposed of and the burning fires of the furnaces. But he does what's required to justify the means. There are few men in this world who will do what has to be done. For that, I admire him. He told me to watch over Dr. Williams' experiments. It seems they are unofficial, although I prepared a report to Kane to have her removed from her position. Dr. Mellon immediately overrode my request. I respect him, but to be honest, I don't like having my authority overruled. Beckman of all people was sniffing around today. It seems the old psychopath suddenly became curious. I asked Dr. Mellon for further instructions. He told me to incapacitate the old man. This I did. That's not true. He survived till January. A shame I had to break the old guy's kneecaps. Ah, yeah. That's what happened, yeah. Honestly, I was hoping to slit his throat, but Dr. Mellon insisted that he remained alive and in pain but unable to move. I'm revising my earlier option of that DeSantis character. I still think he's a pathetic little shit, but I now believe he is partly responsible for some of the stolen information. He strikes me as an amateur put up to this by an outside agent. That's right. I'll deal with DeSantis soon, but first I've got to monitor his movements. Make one move, pal, and I'll have you. Dr. Mellon has earmarked me for one of his experiments. I know this because when I attempted to leave the ship to report to Kane Court, I discovered that my access was restricted and blocked. I came back to my quarters and found Mellon waiting there. He was waiting with two of those hellish critters that he has created. I'm not squeamish, but those things make me nauseous. I'm currently awaiting what he calls processing. I suppose at this stage I could make peace with God. I've killed many men in my life, and I'll never say that I feel remorse for it. And I won't give Dr. Mellon the satisfaction of hearing me pray for mercy. My last notes on this affair are that Dr. Mellon himself is at the heart of the events on board the ship. I was blind to it. I refused to believe that he was capable of creating such devastation. I always thought that scientists like control, but Mellon breaks all the rules as far as science is concerned. The leaked information, the fungal growth, the missing scientists. I'm beginning to suspect here even news that DeSantis was actually selling intelligence and may have fed him the information to sell. To what end, I don't know. I suspect it was because DeSantis kept Beckman drugged to the eyeball with whatever powerful stimulants he happened to have, so Beckman could continue his work. I can hear the machines being turned on. I welcome my fate. At least I know that I did my job for Kane Corporation. Okay. And next episode we'll start by reading Mellon's note, and then I'll try to crack that glass with the twisted metal, I suppose. See you then.